Hi, I'm John Trishler from Specialty Performance Parts, and today we're going to show you how to install some of the add-on connectors and connector kits and prep kits to your Raptor, Bronco, and so on. We've got several different options here for you depending on your skill level and what you're comfortable with to be able to plug into our plug-and-play harness system. So the most basic here is, when you get your harness, this is an example light bar harness, you're going to get a bag of connectors and pins just like so. Of course, it may be kind of hard to see in that bag, so we've got them down here on the table as well so that you can see them down here a little bit more clearly. So in this bag of connectors, you're going to have some different pins, and you'll notice that one of the pins here is pointed, one of the pins is tubular. They match, they mate to each other, like you see here, when they go in the different type connectors. If you're not comfortable with crimping the pins on, we do have a pigtail kit that gives you all those pins and connectors with heat shrink butt connector seals on the back side. So you've got two different ways again of doing that to put those pins or connectors on your switch wires or lights that don't have them. And we're going to go through that. The connectors with the green seals are going to use the hollow pins. The other connectors, which we don't have out here yet, but the other connectors here that don't have a green seal on them, those are going to use the pointed pins. But for our demonstration, we're only going to put on the hollow pins. The standard way is you're going to take these pins and you're going to crimp them on your auxiliary switch wires. And we've got some examples here we're going to use off the truck just for demonstration purposes. If you're not comfortable with crimping those pins on, and we're going to show you how to do that, then we have an alternative where you can either get some of our pigtail packs that have the pins already crimped on, and you'll simply use a built-in butt connector with a heat shrink, or we've got some of our prep packs. And our prep packs are numbered. You'll see they're numbered for switch number 1, switch number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. And then we have another prep pack that gives you these pass-through connections as well. So on the Raptors and the Broncos, you're gonna have pass-throughs that go throughout the truck. Well, these additional pass-throughs allow you to have male and female connections that are already prepped and ready, that you again can use the heat shrink butt connectors instead of the pins. Now, if you are comfortable with the pins and you don't want to use the pigtail type or prep type wires, we have those in a kit here with all the connectors to put on all your switch wires and pass-throughs. But again, many people like the idea of the extensions because they give you a little bit longer length and they're all numbered. So it's easier to keep track of your switch wire 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. And you don't have to go look at the manual to see what color stripe is what. So we're gonna go ahead and show you how easy it is to put both types on. And we've got, again, our sample here, and we're gonna cut and show you some clips off of the Raptor and the Bronco where the auxiliary switch wires are located, so you can see that. But again, I think for demonstration purposes, it's gonna be easier to see right here with better lighting and so on. So we'll start with our prep wire. We've got 2 of them here. We're gonna put one on with our heat shrink butt connectors, and we're gonna put one on with a bare pin. So the first thing we need are a set of wire cutters strippers, and you'll notice that Ford is gonna put these heat shrink seals here on the end of your wire. You're just gonna cut that off just like so, all right? And then you're gonna strip about 1/4 inch of wire off of that. And then you've got your bare wire. Now we'll start with our regular pin. And you'll notice that this tubular pin, this is the style that's gonna go to your switch wires. With the green seal, tubular pin. If you find in your bag of connectors, you've got the pointed pins like so. Those are gonna be designed for the connectors that you can add on to the end of the lights if they didn't have connectors in them. So we're gonna start with our tubular pin. And there's 2 different kind of crimp tools. You can use the standard crimpers, but with these, you're gonna have to crimp twice. You gonna have to crimp around the wire. And I'm just gonna lay it in here real quick so you can see that. We're gonna slide our rubber seal on first, just like so. We're gonna lay our rubber seal in here, and this is really important, and this is something that people often miss. Your bare wire is going to go inside of these little fins right here. Do not slide your wire into the tube, which is actually kind of hard to do anyway, but don't slide it up into the tube like this, because you'll notice you're not crimping over the wire, you're crimping over the insulation. If you crimp over the insulation, your light or your switch is not going to get contact. So again, you pull that back and you crimp over the bare wire, just like so. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And again, if you use this style crimper, then you're going to line that up here. You're going to squeeze down, and that's going to bend those tabs over the wire. But you've got to do it a second time, as you see with the circle, with this type crimper. You put it in there, you squeeze down, and then that bends the tabs over top of the rubber seal. This style crimper you simply slide the whole pin in and you squeeze down all at once. That crimps everything at once. It can be a little quicker and a little easier. It just depends on what you prefer. These are about $35 on Amazon. These are about $16, $17 on Amazon. So a little more work, but a little less money. If you don't have a set of crimp tools, you can pick those up really easy. But that's how easy it is to crimp the pins on your switch wires. Again, so if you got a Bronco or a Raptor prep pack here that has the pins and connectors in them, and you wanted to set up all your switch wires and all your pass-throughs all at once, you can simply get that, and you're gonna crimp them on just like this. Now, if you decided you wanted to go with the prep pack that was the pigtail style, where you have the heat shrink connectors on the ends, the pins are already on the wires, you're gonna install those just a little bit differently. So we're gonna do the same thing here as far as cutting our end off and stripping our wire back. Take about a 1/4 inch or so off. And there's that. And now we're gonna use this one for example. See, our pin is already on there. This is a pigtail wire. And we're gonna take a different set of crimpers. You'll see that they have little teeth in here and it's kind of flat. And that's designed to crimp over that terminal. And I'll try to turn this so you can see it a little bit better, hopefully. Then when we squeeze down, it's gonna crimp that butt connector against that wire. See, then that's not gonna come off. Then you just have one more step. Is take a heat gun and you're just gonna shrink that built-in rubber seal. Like so. And as you see, that seals down around the wire. And then you can take your connectors that you have either in your bag, and you'll just slide those over top of the pins. Press down the cap, and that's it. If you used one of the wire extensions or the prep pack that already had the connectors on them rather than the pigtails, then you're gonna already have the connector on there, so you're just gonna skip that one step. But as you can see, the switch wire extensions are gonna give you a little bit more length, and they're numbered. Whereas the standard pigtails that you can get as a replacement for the pins in the pack with the harnesses, the replacement pigtails are already prepped. Installation is exactly the same with your heat shrink, butt connector, And that's all there is to it. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and take a look at these switch wire locations on the Bronco and the Raptor so you can see where those are located to install these connectors and extensions. So before installing any lights into our Bronco, we need to first find our switch wires. And here on, you can see the driver's side. Here's the battery. Here on this back firewall here, you should be able to see those switch wires right here. There's some additional wires right down here that allow us to tap in where the wires are run in different locations in the truck, such as the windshield in the rear and up in the front grille here and in the passenger side floorboard. You'll notice there's some electrical tape right here that are holding our wires in place. We can simply pull up on that electrical tape. You can just pull those wires right through that electrical tape like this, and they'll pull out. And then you'll have access to them here just like this. And then we can go ahead and get access to the manual in the center screen to tell which color switch wire is which switch. So we've got our switch wires here, and these are the 5 that are remaining. The number 1 switch is already taken up by the fog lights. All right, so now we have all of our connectors crimped onto our switch wires. You can see I've numbered those, so we'll know which ones they are real easily in the future without having to look up the color codes later on. All right, thanks again for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and visit us at spvparts.com to pick up these kits and others for your Raptor, Bronco, and other vehicles. And leave us some comments below. We'd love to hear your feedback. Feedback is always great. Anything else that you'd like to see. And thanks again. We'll see you next time.